Hey guys, so in this video, I'm demonstrating how to create a multi-agent team that automatically transforms your long-form content, whether that's YouTube videos, blog articles, or podcast episodes, into various formats across your digital channels. I'll show you exactly how my content repurposing workflow operates, and for today specifically, I'll focus on YouTube. I'll show you how when a new video uploads to my channel, it triggers an automated process that crafts and publishes a corresponding blog post on my website, creates engaging posts for social media, and can even compose a promotional email to share with my subscriber list should I wish to do so. In my opinion, content agents represent one of the most compelling use cases for AI technology today. The real opportunity with AI, particularly with agents and tools, isn't necessarily about immediately replacing human talent. Rather, it's about dramatically increasing the speed and efficiency with which people can execute tasks and deliver results. You've likely encountered videos showcasing social media automation through platforms like ChatGPT or Make.com. And without criticizing those approaches too harshly, my experience suggests that few businesses genuinely want to publish AI-generated content on their social media channels without some form of human review and refinement. This is precisely where the human in the loop aspect of AI agents proves invaluable, combining automation with essential human judgment. If you're looking for a genuinely practical application of AI agents or simply want to evaluate your social media content creation process, stay with me. I'll walk you through a comprehensive step-by-step guide to setting up your own content agent system that balances powerful automation with crucial human oversight. All right, so let's get into it. I've broken this video down into a few clear steps. First, I'll give a quick overview of the system. Then I'll cover when it makes sense to use a multi-agent setup. After that, I'll walk you through a live demo of an agent I've built, followed by how I've structured the manager sub-agent, and finally, the setup for social media posting. The software I'm using for all of this is Relevance AI. If you haven't come across it yet, it's a no-code AI platform and agent builder that makes it easy to create multi-agent systems. It's ideal if you're not technical, but still want to build something powerful. Here's how the YouTube repurposing system is structured. At the core is the YouTube Repurposing Manager agent. This is the main agent I interact with. It's also the one that gets triggered either manually or by sending it a YouTube link or automatically when a new video is uploaded to my channel. It has the tools needed to publish content directly to my blog and social media platforms, and it oversees a number of sub-agents. Each sub-agent is a content specialist, and in this instance, we have a blog writer and a LinkedIn writer. These sub-agents also use a shared transcription tool to extract the YouTube video content. Once triggered, the manager agent delegates the video link to the relevant sub-agents. For example, the blog writer will transcribe the video, draft the post, and send it back to the manager agent. From there, the manager agent loops me back in for approval. Once I give the green light, it pushes the content live across the relevant platforms. Now that you've seen how this system is structured, I'll go into more detail shortly and give you a live demo as I promised. But before that, I want to explain why I'm using sub-agents, because it's a fair question. Why not just give all the tools, the blog writer, the email writer, the YouTube transcription tool, directly to the YouTube repurposing agent? There are a few solid reasons for taking a multi-agent route, but the biggest one in this case is the iteration and feedback. We don't want to fully automate publishing without a review. It's not realistic for quality content, and sub-agents give us that control back. So here's how it works in practice. The YouTube Repurposing Manager picks up a new video and passes it to the blog writer agent. The blog writer handles the transcription and drafts the blog post, then sends it back to the Repurposing Manager, who brings it to me for review. At that point, I can give proper feedback. Maybe the tone's off, maybe something is missing, whatever it is, I can flag it. and the repurposing manager pushes that feedback back to the blog writer, who updates the content and sends it through again. Once it's right, it then gets published to, in this instance, Webflow. Now let me walk you through a quick live demo using Relevance AI. We'll start by triggering the system manually. I'm going to use a recent YouTube video I uploaded, which I haven't yet turned into a blog post. I'll just send the link to my YouTube repurposing manager. So straight away, you'll see the manager delegates the task to the blog writer agent, and the agent's equipped with a YouTube transcription tool. So it first transcribes the video, then drafts a blog post based on the content. Okay, so once the blog post comes back, I get the chance to review it. In this case, I'd asked for a longer post and it looks like it's delivered that. But now I might want to make a few tweaks. So say I don't like step 3 and I want it shortened. Or maybe the headline isn't working for me. I could do this myself, but it's better to loop the blog writer agent back in because that's the agent specifically trained for this task. The repurposing manager, let me just do it here. So the repurposing manager sends the request back. The blog writer agent makes the updates, and we can instantly check then whether it's been done. Here you can see step 3 is now tighter. The title has been improved. Once I'm happy with the final version, I tell the repurposing manager to go ahead and post it. So the system triggers the Webflow, but I've added a final human approval step before anything gets published. And why would I do that? Because while the copy might be ready, I still might want to add imagery, which I've done here, or manually upload resource links that are referencing content within the article, for example. Once all of that's in, I can scroll to the bottom and hit approve, and then that goes live via Webflow onto my website. Okay, so now the LinkedIn writer agent kicks in. I've set this up so that once I approve the content, it pushes it directly to LinkedIn. Once these posts are created, I usually do a quick scan or tweak if needed. I can upload an image before hitting approve. Here, for instance, I might want to revise the copy or replace words that seem less, maybe AI generic. In this case, I won't post it just yet, so it'll go live to my own LinkedIn account, but there are options there when I'm ready to do so. Okay, so let's hop over to the manager agent setup. As always, we will begin with the system prompt, but in this case, the prompt doesn't just describe the tools, it also outlines which sub-agents the manager agent can delegate tasks to. So here's a step-by-step breakdown of how I've set it up. The agent acts as the YouTube video repurposing and promotion manager. It gets triggered whenever I publish a new video on my channel, and from there it handles repurposing and distribution across my digital platforms. The most important thing in this setup is the standing operating procedure. Whether the agent is triggered manually or automatically, it will always follow the same flow. So step 1 is the blog post creation. The manager agent sends the YouTube video link to the blog writer agent. Think of it like assigning a tool, but in this case you're using an agent instead. Then step 2 is the feedback loop. Once the blog writer produces the draft, the manager agent sends it back to me for review. Like you've seen, this is a critical part of the setup. If you want to iterate, give feedback, stay in control of the quality, you need to instruct your manager agent to check in with you before anything gets published. Only after I've signed it off does it move forward then. And then step 3 is publishing. Once it's approved, the blog is published on my Webflow in this instance. It does connect to other CMSs, but for this purpose, or for the purpose of this video, I've used Webflow. Then it moves on to social. The agent sends the video to LinkedIn, like I showed you, or I can send it to other social platforms. And then the email, if you choose to integrate that also, gets handled by a dedicated sub-agent. There is a section here on the left-hand side, which I find particularly useful. And it's a section called knowledge. And what it allows you to do is upload information that the agent needs to pay attention to. So why I find this particularly interesting is if you previously have been creating newsletters or blog content in a particular style or tone of voice, you can upload that into the manager agent, and it will take that into consideration when it's creating the content in the creating the blog post or the social media post or whatever the case is in the format that you most desire. So this is I think this is a very interesting section, and it's something that you should be mindful of if you're already in the process of creating content in a particular tone of voice or style or wherever the case it might be. Okay, so let's hop over to the tools. In this setup, the manager agent is equipped with two tools, the post to Webflow tool and post to LinkedIn. Both are set to approval required. I want full visibility before anything goes live, and I usually want to add custom images before posting. These are all running on auto by default, but you can also set them to require approval if that's your preference. For each sub-agent, you'll see the first setting is prompt how to use, and that basically just describes to your manager agent how they should use your sub-agent. As soon as you add variables, you automatically get a text field where you can describe what the variable is within the agent. I'll go into that in a moment. But ultimately, this is a template that your manager agent uses to communicate with sub-agents. The LinkedIn writer is structured like a blog writer, fully equipped with all the templates that allow for feedback and for review. All right, so I'll go over the two tools that can actually post to my blog and to LinkedIn. But you can do a similar process with any other social media channel, really. I'll start with the LinkedIn integration setup. Here's how it works. What we do is we have two user inputs, the text for the LinkedIn post and the image. Instead of, I'd say, wrestling with LinkedIn's pretty complex API, we use make.com as the secret weapon. When we submit content, it goes straight over to a setup I have in make.com, and it's done through a simple webhook. Make.com handles all of the technical stuff behind the scenes. You can see the setup here. I won't go into it in too much detail, but the beauty of this system is that make.com already has a native integration with LinkedIn. This setup is incredibly straightforward. You create a webhook in make.com, which gives you a URL to paste into your system. Then you build a simple 3-step workflow. First, receive the content and the image URL. Second is to convert that to an actual file. And then finally, you post everything to LinkedIn. Once it's configured, the whole process happens automatically. Your content manager fills out the form, clicks submit, and you're done. Your professional LinkedIn post appears on your personal page or your company page, whatever you decide. So there's no coding required, no API headaches. It's just seamless posting to keep your LinkedIn presence active and engaging. Next, I'll show you the Webflow publishing process. This one's a little more complex than the LinkedIn setup I showed you before, but it saves me a ton of time in my content workflow. So here's how I've set it up. My agent helps me prepare all of the blog content, like the title, excerpt summary, featured image, thumbnails, etc. Since there's so many moving parts, I keep a human in the loop approval step where I can double check everything and upload any final images or resources, which you saw earlier on in the video. The smart part of this system is that is the automatic HTML formatting. Before sending anything through Webflow, I run the content through an LLM that converts everything into a clean HTML with proper headings, bold text formatting, whatever I've decided. And so this ensures that my blog posts always look professional without me having to mess around with code. Once everything looks good, I send all this data to my setup in make.com. My webhook receives everything, like I mentioned previously. I've already set up all my variables within each of these. I won't go into too much details, but they match the fields in Webflow. So my title, body, images, and everything drops exactly into the right place. It's really as simple as that. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is just one example of a content repurposing agent, but of course you can adjust it to many different use cases. What I find particularly valuable in this instance is the use of original content for the basis of the process. It's very different to creating content in ChatGPT or any other similar software, and does require some upfront work, as you can see, in terms of creating original video content. However, if you're already like a content creator, or maybe even an event organizer, a B2B event organizer, for example, that is recording content sessions live at your event, then this agent setup could save you hundreds of hours or thousands of dollars by helping you repurpose that content into multiple different formats in a very simple way. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.